How to bid commercial construction jobs. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the process for the general contractor to bid for the project, and it will also apply to subcontractors bidding to be awarded the actual trade-specific scope for the general contractor. So when we look at commercial construction projects, we're fascinated by the bridges, the laboratories, the hospitals, but what goes on behind the scenes in the bidding process, we're going to talk about that right now. Okay, so when we talk about bidding a commercial construction project, there's two general ways to go about this. First of all, it's the general contractor bidding to be awarded the project from the building owner, and then the subcontractor to the general contractor. Let me give you a high-level overview of both. First of all, if you are bidding a commercial construction project and you are doing it with your team, you are going to learn all about it because it is an intense process. First of all, you'll have your RFP or RFQ. It's the request for proposal or request for qualifications, right? It may be heavier on the price side or the qualification side. There's lots of different formats, but typically it's broken down into the written proposal and the actual interview. I love both. The written proposal process, you're going to gather with the team, have a team lead, really shape a single message, and then delegate to the other proposal participants, I'll call them, before we get to the interview team. And they're going to help put together a written proposal as subject matter experts that really answer the questions and make sure that you are communicating the aspects of price and qualifications and approach to the building owner so that you can be selected and then go on to the interview. It's an absolutely amazing process. And what I would say is you have to shape a compelling message. You have to follow the hero's journey. There's lots of really good books about that. You have to be very, very clear and interesting to keep their interest throughout reading the proposal, and you have to start planning and solving problems for their project. Now let's go into the interview. This is crazy cool. Everything you say needs to be turned into sound bites. You need to have amazing visuals, and you need to know what you're talking about and talk to their needs. So you will go through an interview preparation process and then get into the interview and again start showing them how you're going to solve their problems and take care of their needs. But you're going to do it with love for the selection committee, with high energy, hopefully at the right time of day, and you're going to do it without the fear and without the nervousness and really go in there and win that interview. Now, when we're pricing this, I'm going to go through the exact steps there, but it's basically the same when you're a subcontractor or when you're a general contractor, the steps that you will follow for pricing. But let me talk real quick about subcontractors. You are either going to be bidding the project based on an instruction to bidders and a bid package, or you might have to interview as well. The key thing the general contractor is looking for in this interview is to make sure that you have the right team, the right approach, the right price, the right schedule. And the biggest thing that we worry about with trade partners is that you actually can deliver on your promises. And we want to really make sure that you are the right fit for this process. So whether you're a GC or a subcontractor, now let me go through the specific steps you'll follow when you're bidding at either level. So number one, understand the project requirements. What is it that you're building? This is not just crack open the plans or know what type of building it is. We at Elevate and Lean Tact and Lean Belt, we really go on a deep dive on this. We attempt to understand the building, all of the numbers that quantify what goes into that building. We will do a page flip, look at different one-off areas. Are there any overhangs? Are there any high bay ceilings? Are there any special types of formwork? Is this a postage stamp site? Like, we're going to get a really good feel for what this building actually is before we go into the bidding process. Number two, and I love this, go do a site visit and assess what's going on the actual project site. And you know what's even cool? Actually, let me say this the right way. Even cooler than just going to the site is going out there and calling in a blue stake ahead of time. And then, this sounds silly, you'll at least want to do this once you've won the job. But one of the cool things that you can do is do some preliminary layout and find out how that building is going to sit on the actual lot. You definitely have to do that once you've been awarded the project. I would actually lay out the entire structure and see how it overlays with with the utilities, but you definitely want to at least get a feel for the site. And here's what I want you to look for. Look at soils conditions, neighbors, access. I want you to see if any utilities need to be relocated. Do you need shoring? These are all things that you can loop into your written proposal and your interview to start solving problems right away. Number 3, you're going to want to start estimating costs. Obviously, you're going to want material costs, labor costs, equipment costs. You'll break it out as your general conditions, which is basically your insurance, bonds, and your staff. Your general requirements, which is anything that you have to use to build the project from a general requirement standpoint, anything that is needed for logistical support. Then you'll have your subcontracts, your contingency, and your fee. And there's other categories in that budget, but you're going to start estimating those and make sure that you have accurate quantities, that you're getting trade numbers, or if you are the trade, that you're providing your own number, and if you're the GC, that you're doing your internal control estimates and that you're comparing those to make sure that you have multiple sets of eyes on these numbers and that you have accurate bid numbers. Number 4, you're going to propose on a timeline. Obviously, when it comes to a cost and schedule standpoint, that's whether you're the GC or you're the trade partner, and you will definitely want to break out your estimate into different categories so you can see the clear picture of what you're proposing, and you want to create a timeline, and in my case, an overall macro level TAC plan to show the schedule portion of this project. And I would also include your zone maps, your logistics plans, so that you know what has fed into your general requirements inside your budget. Number 5, submit your bid. Now, I do want you to know that there isn't just a one-size-fits-all with this. As a GC, you're either going to submit your initial proposal from a cost standpoint in the written proposal and in your interview, or you're going to be selected on qualifications, and then you're going to enter into a CM at risk type environment where you're going to reach a guaranteed maximum price, where you eventually submit your GMP and that total price, right, that aggregates the overall budget, and that is what you are at risk for to build the project as the GC once you are selected. Now, if you're the trade partner, people do this differently. By the way, you can reach a GMP early or late in the design process. Same with a trade partner. You might be bidding the design development documents 50% CDs or 100% CDs, and you might literally only give plug numbers or square foot pricing or unit pricing up into the 100% CDs or whenever the GC is going to bid it out, and then fully bid it, or you might have to do a more intense process throughout. But either way, strategize. The key to this is literally just sketching this out on paper as the GC or the trade partner, and know the strategy for how you're going to bid out. Know the strategy for how you're going to bid it out in a way that gets you the best number, that allows you to release work early enough but doesn't waste the time of the trade partners. And then obviously you have 6, your post-bid follow-up, where you find out if you won the project as the GC or you won the project as the trade partner, as the subcontractor. And then, if you didn't, obviously get your lessons learned and improve from there. But if you did, obviously we are off to the races. Get the feedback, but start immediately to prepare anything that deals with your scope, your contract, long lead procurement, and preparing to start strong on that project site. And remember, it's all about scope, 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 scope. We do not want scope gaps in any of these processes. And so I'd like to close up. By the way, if you've liked this video, please like and subscribe. Let me give you some tips along the way. Number 1, get accurate subcontractor scopes and do control estimates with quantities that will allow you to compare the pricing and make sure that it is accurate. Number 2, be realistic with time frames. It takes some time to put these bid packages together. It takes time when you're bidding out trades. It takes time for them to send you their number in response. It takes time to create the written proposal and do the interview. This takes time, so make sure you're being realistic with it throughout. Number 3, always make sure you have buffers, you have contingencies built in. You'll need buyout contingency, you'll need contractor contingency, you'll need owner contingency. Make sure you have enough buffers to where you don't get yourself in trouble. And really, you're going to want to stand out. If you're going to want to win this, either as the GC to the owner or as the trade to the general contractor, you must stand out by adding value, by making sure that you're preventing anything that would keep the selection committee up at night, and start planning their project from day one. And just remember, this can be an excellent, precise, and fun process if you know the strategy and you're working as a team and you know your numbers. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in the description below this as a blog post, but also offer that if you ever want any help, reach out to us. We have templates. We do this all the time. And remember, we're wanting to find the best value, not the lowest bid. Lowest bid is never lowest overall total cost. Make sure we're doing this with high levels of communication, with high levels of double checks, with accurate numbers, and with buffers, and this should be an amazing process for you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.